Okay guys, so I've been gone from the Mania community for who knows how long now. Like, I haven't been playing it very much, haven't been doing very many plays of it, and this video is here to explain why and to shed some light on it, because it has been one heck of a confusing journey. So first, let me start by establishing how I even started this whole thing. Firstly, the Mania career pretty much started at around early 2016. So here's the thing. I was kind of a noob, right? And I played Standard. Standard and Catch a Beat were really the only modes that I played, and I didn't really play either for ranks or anything. So one day, my tablet pen broke, and I decided to play Mania. Of course, I was okay for my level, I guess, at it, but I wasn't very good. So I found Mania interesting, and then eventually, by the end of that year, I was playing it more than Standard. I was legitimately enjoying it, and I was rank pushing. I was rank pushing in Mania hardcore pretty much all the time from 2017 to like mid-2018. Like, I was the fucking OG practically of like my rank and all that, and I was doing pretty good, and I had a very unique skill set. My skill set basically focused more of speed and stamina, and I wasn't the greatest of stamina, but for other players compared to my rank, my stamina was actually pretty fucking good later on. But yeah, that's enough about the beginnings. So first, let's start with 2018. That was the peak of my Mania career. That was literally the best time that I had ever had with that mode. So 2018, I go to Florida. I have my mechanical keyboard and my Surface Pro 4, and I have my laptop. So I'm there, I'm just playing normally, you know, having a grand old time, and, you know, months go by, I'm improving at rank steadily, and it all goes well until around July. So in April and in May, I had amazing scores. What happened in July, you might be saying? Well, let me explain. Basically, July of 2018 was when it all started going fucking downhill. First off, I was in my brother's house. There was abuse going on. There was stress going on. I was still stressed. HRT had barely had enough time to take hold. I'd only been on HRT for like a month, maybe less. And I got restricted. I got restricted around the 24th, and I could access my profile, but my scores could never be posted, and I could never see my rank in game. I could only see score. This was fucking devastating to me. So since I got restricted from Mania, I decided to switch to FFR, which, in case you're wondering, is basically like a Step Mania clone. Ha, Step Mania, Mania. Yeah. Fucking stop saying that they're ripoffs, okay? Like, they're basically two different incarnations. Anyway, enough about that fucking argument. I don't want to bring Step Mania fanboys in here to debate this shit, but I was playing FFR, and I was doing really fucking good. And then, within a few days of my restriction in the month of July, I started losing my stamina, and I started losing it fast. I couldn't play very much maps for too long. If a map was over like 2 minutes in length, I could just not do it unless it was an easy map. If I tried to play 7K, I was losing even more dexterity and stamina. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, my fucking ring fingers, they might as well have been limp fucking pieces of salmon. Like, they were entirely useless. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. So not only did my stamina start fucking fading, but my other skill sets started fading, and I started to notice screen tearing. And it was at that moment that I started to notice screen tearing, and my keyboard started becoming squishy and eating inputs a little bit. And then I realized, I don't have my mechanical keyboard. I don't have 144 hertz. I don't think I can do this anymore. So I kept playing anyway. I kept playing into August. So I went back in August, and I came back, did a few plays on my brother's computer just to make sure that I wasn't crazy. and that it was in fact 60 hertz that was limiting me. And what did I find? I found that for the 5 plays, because I didn't want to totally destroy his keyboard, you know. I found that for the 5 plays I had done, I was so much better. I played FFR, and I was practically a god. Like, my reading had improved, and everything looked smooth for once. Like, I didn't have to up my scroll speed to a ridiculous degree just so that the notes would appear separate, right? Like, I could actually play. I could actually do these things. And that's when my other problems started arising. So you know the stamina loss? Well, I originally chalked it up to RSI. I figured I played Mania for 2 years. I spent multiple months playing exclusively via bro maps to farm for those ranks on Ripple. And that's what I figured. And I went with the assumption that it was RSI forever, and I slowed my playing. I didn't play as much. Like, I tried to slowly ease myself back in to see if it would work. And here's where we get to problem number 2. My drought from September to November. So there was a really large drought. Basically, my girlfriend came over, and I started playing other things, and this was back before we had a desk, so she was, like, always on my bed, and I didn't really have a good setup to play or anything, and it just was a pain in the ass. Nothing against her, but, like, I couldn't play very much of Mania stuff anymore, because my setup wasn't very good. And it really kind of affected me. So basically from September to November, I had maybe a dozen or so plays. Like, I didn't have very many because, again, my girlfriend was there. Didn't have much time to, like, sprawl out and start playing with my old setup and all that because I barely had any room. And my skill decayed. It decayed to a ridiculous degree. And keep in mind that I still thought it was RSI, and it basically had kept going on, and I could barely play, and that was pretty much a death blow for it. And so, in the middle of November, I got switched to estrogen injections, and my stamina started improving. Like, I started being able to play Malady Taiko, but I didn't play it very much because the resolution was terrible, and good luck trying to play a VSRG on a fucking smartphone. You're just not gonna do it, okay? Like, you have barely any room. An iPad is more or less the same thing, too. Like, there's still, like, no room to scroll. Like, if I play the iPad portrait, I don't have enough space to put my fingers. If I play the iPad landscape, I don't have enough scroll area to see the notes coming down, so I can't read it. Like, it's actually impossible for me to read, even with hidden. But yeah, so I didn't have my computer, and then eventually when I got my computer back, I tried playing Mania, and my problems came back to haunt me again. No 144 hertz, no mechanical keyboard, just a laptop keyboard of somewhat squishy keys, and that was it. That was all that I had, and I tried playing, and even with estrogen injections, removing the RSI, but actually it wasn't RSI, it was fatigue from having low estrogen, because Planned Parenthood kept me on my starter dose for multiple months after they were supposed to up the dose. And then I got put on a higher dose, got my stamina back, kind of. Well, I got some of it back, but I didn't get all of it back because I guess my fingers had been inactive for so long that they I guess sort of degraded, and I didn't have as much skill. But the sad part is I tried playing. I even tried doing stuff today, and my stamina and my reading has decayed. My reading ability has decayed. For the months I stopped playing FFR, my reading ability didn't decay. But now my reading ability and my stamina have both taken a massive dive, and they are not the same. It's a little unfortunate to tell you, but my skill has taken so much of a dive that I'm practically no better than a 5-digit at this point. And I was getting really sad thinking about this today, but I might actually quit because I don't have the hardware to permit myself to get better. My skill has decayed to a degree where it would take longer to salvage my old skill than it would to even get good again. and things just haven't been going well in other ways too. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, I'm gonna be retiring. I'm gonna be retiring from Mania. I'm gonna be retiring from VSRGs. As much as it pains me to say it, I feel like the era of Wolfette/Azrael being good at VSRGs is over, and I feel like I'm never gonna peak again, never gonna get back to my old skill, and nothing's really gonna change. I might try again if I ever get a 144 Hz monitor and a keyboard, but I still doubt I'm ever going to return to my old skill, right? Like, I would try, it's just the monumental effort it'll take to de-rust, to basically climb up a basically dead private server ranking at this point. It just doesn't seem worth it to me anymore. Like, it doesn't seem like a battle worth pursuing anymore. Like, all my ranks are dead. All my score is dead. All of my best replays are lost to time because I've been restricted. And somehow my local scores also deleted themselves at some point on some of the maps. Things just aren't good anymore. And, you know, I really liked playing VSRGs. I really, really did. But now, it honestly might be time for me to go. I had a good run while it lasted. I was optimistic back in July when I was climbing up the ranks, but now I think my time is over. I might return one day, but thanks to all who tried to help me improve. Thanks to A-Breaker, thanks to Jack Ads, thanks to Azrieli, thanks to pretty much everybody. I'm banned from FFR forums too, so there's also that, but I'm not going to touch on that. But, you know, pretty much everything has left right now, and even my Tycho skill can't be recovered. Pretty much the only game mode I can ever recover still for feasibly is standard, and even then, you know, I'm probably going to have one improvement spike and then a flat line anyway, so there's not really much to look forward to. Thanks for listening to this whole thing, and I'm really sad that my Mania career is about to be over, and hey, stop that. My Mania career is about to be over, but, you know, there's not really much I can do about it, as I've explained at this point. So, yeah. I guess if you have any suggestions for how I should proceed from here, leave them. You know, if you're a Mania player that's gone for a similar thing and has actually recovered their skill, then tell me, but I'm not really sure there's any hope left anymore. And it's really disheartening, and I basically don't know what to say. I mean, Mania is just one of the few modes of the game where you need to be playing at your absolute peak in order to make a dent in your progress and improve a little bit. And if you aren't playing at your best at any given moment, you probably aren't going to gain very many ranks or anything. So, yeah, I'd recommend that if anyone is going to play a VSRG, that despite all I've said, it should be Mania. It's simple. It's a good way to gain rhythm and stamina. A good entrance into it. Just please don't be inactive for as long as I have. Just don't do it. And if you're going to go on HRT, if you're a trans rhythm game player, please make sure that you're on the proper dose, or else you'll get fatigue from having too low estrogen or testosterone like I did. Be careful. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say right now. If you have any suggestions for how I should proceed, what I should do, let me know. Also, one more thing I'd like to say is that if you're gonna play Mania, please play 7K. Please don't exclusively play 4K. It'll stunt your reading. The 4K skill curve is just ridiculous. I strongly urge that if you're going to play Mania, don't only play 4K. Trust me, it'll get boring way fast. Please don't try it. Even if you're not accustomed to 7K rhythm games, put in the effort. There's a lot more fun charts and a lot more interesting thing to do.